Okay, we lit it just like a fuse, so no need to pick and choose. Welcome to 2020, where we do more than interviews. The hottest be coming through, jumping knowledge on all of you. Get a peek at the front of you with the truth that they offer you. Yeah, hands up, we doing it for the culture. To give artists and businesses more exposure. Keeping it real and stay silent just like a boulder. It's about to go all the way down, can't get no lower. Chasing my dreams, know that they get no slower. But if I stay running, I promise they getting closer. Moreover, success my older. And if you're sleeping on me, I'm waking them up like Folgers. I told you, coming from the land with the tide roll. Well, we'll be on a whole different vibe though. We like to ride slow and keep our windows tinted so you really can't see us. Like Stevie Wonder waking up with his eyes closed. Yeah, got the kind of flow that rock the boat. On my 16s of pounds of dope. And if you figure you can hang with me on the mic, then grab some rope. Matter of fact, better grab some hope. While you at it, we keep it live, it's time to tune in. Turn up the sound on what you're using. It goes so hard, I think it's bruising. The show is 2020, no need to zoom in. Yeah.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy Sir of the 2020 Podcast LLC. Please say the LLC. And today I'm here rejoined by a friend of mine, Miss Saniyah Baker-Boatwright is in the building. How are you doing?
Yes, I am doing pretty good. I'm getting better at when somebody asks me that question to really, especially depending on who the person is now. Because, sometimes we be out here telling the enemy, how we doing, and they really don't be caring. But no, I'm doing pretty good. I'm definitely in a better space. Thank God.
I hear that.
How about you?
I'm doing better. I'm doing a lot better, man. And thank you for asking that in turn. Because I remember the last time we spoke, it was a couple of years ago. Yeah. And we was talking about a specific project that you have been working on. Mm-hmm. And then we got back in touch. And you was like, hey, I think it's time we discuss it. And I'm all for it. I'm down for hearing about the fruits of people's labor. Yeah. So let's talk about it. What is this project you have been working on that is coming to light?
Yes, listen, you in my mind already. But so the project that I've been working on is a book called How to Thrive with the Loss of an Alive Parent. And so, this is a topic that is pretty much just gets swept under the rug. A lot of people just tell you, just move on, you'll be okay, it's all right, just, whatever. It's definitely something I feel like it's a topic that don't get talked about enough, and it's really easier said than done, right? Mm-hmm. And so I feel like God really placed a part of this burden on me to, help uplift others up and encourage them to let them know that even though you have experienced an absentee parent and you're struggling with that, whether you're trying to, parent yourself or you're dealing with abandonment issues, that you can thrive and not just like survive or not even just live, but like literally live life to the fullest.
No, I think that's important. A lot of times we get caught up in what we don't have. And I think a lot of times we have to count the blessings that we do have every day. It may not be the best ideal situation in our eyes, mm-hmm. but this isn't about what we want. Sometimes it's about what was laid before us for a purpose. So I think that's dope. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about what inspired you to put this on paper, because I can understand this is a tough topic that some people don't want to discuss.
Close.
So what gave you the courage to go forward with this?
Really, one part I would say what gave me the courage to go through this is getting rid of fear. Because to be honest with you, this is a testimony that I was just going to keep between me and God. It's like, don't nobody care. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just have to live my life and figure it out the best way I can. Yeah. And so but not only that, of course, personal experience also helped with the inspiration of this book. Because let me back up here. So 2021 is when I first started writing the book. And I was like, okay, I'm going to, go ahead and put this book out. I was getting the cover together. The book was finished. And then I don't know what happened at that time, but I was like, oh, snap, I can't put this book out. And I don't know if life was just life at that time, or I just, was just moving on to another project or whatever the case may be. So then a couple years later, I was like, okay, I'm going to do the book again. But then me and my dad was reconciling. So I was like, well, let me pump the brakes on this. Maybe this is not time. Because I was hearing it's time, but it wasn't time for the book. It was time for me to actually work on the relationship with my father. And then, so after that, I want to say it was 2024. I had made the announcement and everything that I was putting this book out. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I didn't told, my audience that I'm putting this book out, and I'm not putting this book out. But when I say I stand on Romans 8:28, like all things work
Okay.
together for the good that love the Lord and is called according to his purpose. Because if I had put that book out in 2023, 2024, when I made that whole announcement, it would have been incomplete. I had to
Mm.
literally go through some more healing myself in order for this book to be birthed. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, just to spill some of my own tea, when I first originally wrote the book, please forgive me, Lord. But well, he already forgiven me. But when I wrote the book the first time, the tone was just off. I'm not gonna lie to you. The tone was just
Mm.
off. I was like, because it was coming sort of for like a victim mindset. You know what I'm saying? And I even had to even change the title, because originally the title was How to Cope with the Loss of an Alive Parent. And I didn't like the word cope, because I'm thinking
Yeah.
it's like, steady taking a medicine. You just coping with the issue or whatever's going on, instead of actually, taking something like a steroid, where, you get that steroid from the doctor, even though it probably don't kick in just then and there. But we know that after a couple of minutes or an hour pass by, we're going to be just fine.
Right.
So,
Right.
I had to do that. And then on still piggyback off my father, me and his relationship was pretty much always on and off, on and off. And it was just like, man, why we just can't get this together? You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mm.
pouring, I'm doing all the things. I'm texting him, I'm calling him, I'm, making sure I'm keeping a open door policy, and I do that with everybody, friends, family, lovers, da da da. And so I'm like, it's just not working. So that was that on that part with my mom. And let me just say this: I love both of my parents dearly, right?
Mm-hmm.
As well with a lot of people that experience absentee parents, because they are the basis of our foundation. They are how we got here. Now, when it comes to my mom's side, I've always had my mom in my life, but I believe that once I started really healing and doing the work to heal more and more and more, it's like it was drawing us farther and farther apart. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Interesting.
it's what I tell people all the time. It's hard to have a relationship with people when you're healing and they're not healing. They're not doing the work to heal. It's just,
Yeah.
very hard. So that was part of my inspiration. And then another part of my inspiration, to be honest with you, is just really seeing things on social media. And I'm a big person where I am a helper. You know what I'm saying? If I can help you, I help. But I also learn my boundaries now. you
That's
know,
what I was looking for.
Listen, baby, after 2025 in 2026, and ooh, yeah, people pleasing, that is done with for me. Validation, that's done with for me. Boundaries, that's in for me. You
I
know what
hear
I'm
that.
saying?
I hear that.
And so when I was going on social media and I was seeing other people have these same issues, I'm like, dang, a lot of people deal with this. I'm not the only person that's dealing with this. Like, somebody needs to help these people. Like, why is nobody shining light on this? Like, this is not just something that is an easy thing to do. You know what I'm saying? In life, to
Absolutely
live
right.
life without an absentee parent, you're literally grieving somebody who is still here on this earth. They're not dead, and it's really nothing that, quote unquote, that you can do about it. So when I see other people's stories and testimonies, I'm like, wait a minute, I need to be a voice for the voiceless. I need to be the voice for the ones that is dealing with this and they feel afraid to speak up. They dealing with this and they feel ashamed. They feel bad. They feel guilty that they don't have a parent in their life. They feel like, wait a minute, why was I dealt these cards in my life?
Hmm. That why is a driving factor in a lot of unresolved issues and a lot of adults that we deal with today. A lot of people haven't identified that issue, and I recorded a TikTok this morning where it just hit me where I don't have children, and I personally don't prefer to have any,
Right.
but I still find myself learning the tactics of being a parent because I deal with so many different type of people that have unresolved child trauma. So I figured the best way to make me a better orator, a better mediator, a better speaker, a better leader is to understand the core concepts behind these behaviors, behind these inner children. And I've been on that journey and understood a lot about myself. When I looked into those issues, I saw some things that I wanted to fix. So what did I do? Just like you said, I took it to God. I sat down, I meditated on it. I said, okay, I need the tools to really fix this. Sought therapy, started reading, started doing more self help, started changing certain things about myself. And it sounds like I'm hearing that from you in different ways. So I want to ask you this. What was the defining point? Because you mentioned that it started in 2021,
Yeah.
and a lot of changes happened within that 2025 window. What was something that made you say, you know what? This is still continuing to grow. I need to tell this portion. Like, was there a key event that happened or something that changed that made it come forward that, yeah, I made the right choice in holding on and adding this to the book?
Yeah, I would say this. So initially, like I was saying before, when I was hearing that, it's time, but really it was time for me to work on the relationship with my father. Well, I ended up hearing it's time again. And when I heard it, I was like, wait a minute, it's time? Like it's time? Like it's time for the book to come out time? I'm like, oh my God, I can't even lie. I was nervous because, I mean, like you said, this is something that a lot of people don't talk about. And for myself, I know that I give the enemy hell. So when I come, I'm just saying, really, my people don't understand the things that I go through, even as an author, to get these books out. You know what I'm saying? The spiritual warfare that I go through. So it's like, okay, what's going on here? But I'm so sorry, but I forgot that question. Did you? What was that question again?
No, no, no. It's just what event happened that lets you know, hey, I need to add this portion of what's occurring to the book.
Okay,
Like
gotcha.
that. Yeah.
Okay, got you. So, like I said, I heard this time again. So I was like, wait a minute, it's time to really put the pedal to the foot to the pedal and really publish this book. And not only that, like I said, I was more so like, Naya, what are you doing holding on to this book when you could be sharing a testimony to really help others? So I was like, it's time. And I really had to deal with fear. You know what I'm saying? Because again, talking about this, people looking at like, oh, she's causing division, or, just whatever, any backlash that can come with that. But no, this is about unity because it's shedding light on something that, you know what I'm saying, needs to be resolved. It needs to, be fixed because, again, the point of it is whether you have a parent in your life or not, sad to say, with anything that goes on in life, life still moves on. And then another part of it with it is just really, once I experienced an issue myself with abandonment, I was leaning on a person so much till it was like, wait a minute. And then when I felt that abandonment, when I went through the abandonment of them, I was like, wait a minute, you have a mother wound issue, because it wasn't even a father issue no more, because with a father it's like it was inconsistent anyway. So it's like, okay, whatever, that's just my dad. You know what I'm saying? Even when I ask other siblings, it's just, well, that's how daddy is. He'll talk to you for a minute, and then if you ain't really in his face, then he ain't, you know what I'm saying, being consistent with you. So it was just like, okay with that. But then with my mom, it was just like, dang, me and my mom, we was like thick as thieves. You know what I'm saying? Everybody called us twins. So it was like, once I experienced that abandonment issue with that, one person, it was like, wait a minute, Naya, you need to heal. Not only do you need to heal, but this story must be told, because it's a guy out there right now, it's a girl out there right now that is dealing with the very same thing that, what I'm saying, this book deals with. And so it's giving them the voice to be like, okay, when I read this book, even though I'm going through these abandonment issues, these rejection issues, this validation or people pleasing or not setting boundary issues, if she overcame it, I could overcome it too. And this book is not even solely based on my testimony. Is more so focused on them, because see, the key thing, I'm gonna bring it back to what you said earlier. We focus so much on what we don't have, so we have to fit to the point that we need to be focusing on what we do have, and who we have, right? Because we can say all day, okay, I don't have my mother, I don't have my father, but who do you really have? I dare somebody, when they get ready to watch this, look through your contacts. scroll through, do it real slow. I promise you. Because one day I was just so over it with life. I was just irritated, frustrated, and I was like, I wasn't going to do anything to myself, but I was just fed up to the point where it was really making me feel like my blood pressure was, you know what I'm saying, going up. And to be honest, to be transparent with you, I was going through so much in this year of January of battling everything and dealing with personal issues, dealing with absentee parents and trying to figure out what's what. Till I was literally going to the doctors in regards to my blood pressure. But glory be to God, when I went back, because he gave me a log sheet, and so I can keep up with my own blood pressure, by the glory of God, when I came back, he was like, nah, we gonna worry about putting you on no medicine. So glory be to
Good.
God on that. Yes, thank God. So yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
No, that's beautiful, man. I'm always for the growth because I feel like a lot of people take these elements that's surrounding them and stuff that doesn't really have much to do with them. They're just inheriting the effects of people not dealing with the trauma, and they're turning it into their truth and they're sharing it. Because something about the pandemic, man, yeah, we got more connected through like social media, but we also got more disconnected. Like the conversations stopped, you know? It's like the arguments started, but the resolutions didn't increase. So it's just a lot of people walking away from the table, and I'm glad to hear that you were able to come to a resolution within yourself,
Yeah.
understanding the differences between both parents, and you're making a change yourself. A lot of people repeat their habits, repeat what they've seen. And I'm not hearing that from you, and I love that. So let me ask this next question. Was there something that you saw that you learned from either parent or both that you said, you know what, I'm going to take a little bit of this, but I'm going to add this to it to make it better for me? What was something that you got from your parents that you were able to alter and carry that forward, in your life now?
That's a really good question, by the way. As far as with my mom, I would say that my mom is a giver, right?
Mm.
I didn't watch my mom give and give and give, even to the point where it was costing her.
Ooh.
So when we talk about habits, that definitely brushed off on me because I became a fixer. I became a giver. I was pouring out into people, whether they was pouring into me or not, whether they was
Mhm.
disrespecting me or not. And so I had to realize, okay, wait a minute. I can give, but it's limits to this giving. So now I still give, don't get me wrong, but I learned my limits. I learned my boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I give, but I literally report back to the father, like, okay, is this something I should be doing? Or I even just check in with myself before, not disrespecting my daddy at all, because I call Jesus my daddy, because he literally is. But I check with myself, like, nah, do you have the capacity to do this? And if the
Yeah.
capacity is not there, then I'm sorry, baby. I can't do it. Now you can't do
Mhm.
it. Now you can't show up, because I learned that I have to pour into myself. If I don't pour into myself, if I don't take care of myself, who is going to do it? And when I watched my mom go through that with her, family, her immediate family, like her brothers and sisters and her mother, and I saw how burnt out she get. I saw how she was not, taking care of herself. She wasn't exercising. It was just work, home, kids, and it's like, or taking care of everybody else. Oh, such and such need help. I'm gonna go help them. Oh, such and such, need some money. I'm gonna do this, and it's like, no, I can't do that. So that was probably the biggest lesson from my mom.
No, I understand. My mom is a forgiver
Yeah.
to the point where someone could cross her and she would forgive them, and they would just keep trying, just keep trying to exploit. And I saw that, and seeing that made me the complete opposite. Once I was crossed, that was it, right? I was the complete polar opposite, not understanding the dynamic of mercy and forgiveness and what that does for yourself. Um, Now I've started to undo that, started to unravel that, doing it with boundaries. I can offer my forgiveness but that doesn't mean I have to give you access. You know, standing that ground is like, yo, I let go of that. It's okay. However, that's the part that people forget about. The however,
However,
this hasn't changed. Your key card don't work here no more. You know what I'm
woo,
saying?
glory to God. Yeah. I'm
So
serious.
that's what I've been taking. It is understanding that forgiveness and mercy have nothing to do with abuse.
Mm.
Abuse is when someone takes advantage of your lack of boundaries, an intruder of sorts.
Ooh.
And so that's what I've been taking sorts, with is I just have to man my own gates, man. I just have to stand there, and you could call me a bully, you could call me whatever you need to make it easier on you, but
Mhm.
that the no is the complete sentence, buddy. Like that's just what it is. So
That
that's what I've been dealing with on this journey I'm on.
I
Just
would say I have to agree with you on that. And that's something that I had to learn myself as well with forgiveness because you can forgive, forgive, and give. But like you said, the key factor that I was missing is the no access part.
uh-huh.
I was literally just explaining this to somebody. Somebody stabbed me in my back, and, a year fly by. Well, I forgive them, a year fly by. They do it again. Okay, I forgive them. They turn around, months go by. They do it again. I forgive them. Okay, weeks go by. You see how draining this is tiresome of me even saying
Yeah, man.
weeks go by.
Yeah.
I forgive them. Boom. Days go by. Then they cross me the very same day I didn't forgave them. And it's like, how many bad days am I going to have left? Like I can't keep abusing myself because that's what it
There you
comes
go.
to at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? When you forgive and you still give them access, you're not doing nothing but deteriorating yourself. So once I learned that it's okay to forgive, surrender, let go, let God, whether they remove themselves off of the fish hook, that's totally up to them. Because see, a
Right.
lot of people say, forgiveness, oh, it's for yourself. No, it's for you and the other person. And the reason why
There
I say that is because, saying me and you have a alt, right? And I'm like, okay, sir, I forgive you. Boom, I remove myself off of the fish hook. But because you have a hardened heart, or because you're still dealing with shame and guilt, even though I've forgiven you, you're still deciding to keep yourself on the fish hook. So I feel like, once I forgive, it's up to you to remove yourself off of the fish hook. And the thing about it is, what people really claim to not understand is that you could actually have access again sometimes, not all the time now. Sometimes if you would just own up to what you did and what you said. It's like accountability be so hard out here sometimes, and it's just like I can't move, the way you move. I'm sorry, I love you still, but I can't give you access. Like you said, that key just whoop.
It's almost like they're lying to themselves and to an imaginary audience.
Ooh.
It's like they're trying to save face for someone who's not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was talking about this to another friend of mine. It was the entire concept of posting like your personal business on social media. I still don't understand to this day. So much so where after you start, I understand venting. You know, that's just something that people will do, but telling all of your business, that's just a boundary violated to me because
Mm-hmm.
conversations are going to start. You're looking for support, but what you're getting is criticism.
Mm-hmm.
And are you going to be open to honest criticism?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be open to having a conversation of the root cause? Because I know a lot of people who can't do the five whys. Ask yourself why this? Okay, why that? Why that? Why that? Because they're afraid of what they're going to find.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the things that we allow can be prevented through just manding like your beliefs, standing your ground, and I think we're losing the discipline in that. You
Mm,
know,
yeah,
I think we're so comfortable with getting someone to agree with us or just being in company that we fear being alone, and therefore that's why we have this problem so widespread. It's a whole bunch of amen corners, but sometimes people are amening with you, but for the wrong reason.
yeah,
Like you
in
can
other words,
have a crowd in unison in error, you know. And
yeah.
so I just, I hope people will start to turn this around.
Hmm.
That's part of the reason I took like a sabbatical from social media for 6 months. It was just like, I don't like any of this of what I'm saying, and it's affecting me. You know,
Hmm.
I need to take a break from this and start to sort through my own stuff. I have my own stuff going on. I can't take on your stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so I really feel this concept that you have in this book. Are there any like stories in it that were personal to you that you feel will grab on to someone who maybe be along their own path? Would you be willing to give me like a little tidbit of what's in there?
Yeah, so there are some stories, not many, because like I said, I really did want to make this focus, about myself, because again, it's about them, and that's what I want them to see, that it's not even about the absentee parent, it's about you, it's about prioritizing
Okay.
yourself. So I wouldn't really say like it's like really, long drawn out stories, but I do
Okay.
talk about how the how I felt the abandonment, and how the different things that I had learned from the abandonment. Now I will give you this, because it's a lot of things in there I can't lie. What the girls be doing, because clocking that tea, baby. I listen. I was eating in this book. It's some things I was like, "Ooh, God, I'm so thankful to God that you ain't allowing me to publish this book yet," because baby, it's some jewels in here. Okay, it's
Okay.
some jewels in this book. But one of the things I will say is this. One of my favorite parts in here, what I had noticed in regards to this book, and just regarding to absentee parents and living life with that, is a lot of time we feel these emotions, right?
All right.
FEEL. And then once we feel these emotions, we go and feel the void. FILL. Come on, somebody.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
I'm
we
with
can
you.
get the
I'm with you.
drinking, we get the
Uh huh.
smoking, the sex, fornicate, all that stuff. And when we feel in that void, it's like once we get done doing all of that, we're coming right back to the same issue. And so what my thing is, I can't lie, I had a codependency issue. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to really work through that. What makes me feel like I have to have somebody as my leaning post when God is my strong tower. God is my source of strength. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I had to, figure out what it is that I need to clean up within myself, what it is that I need to do to heal within myself, to make sure I'm not looking for a codependency. I'm not looking for someone to lean on. I can stand on my own 2 feet. If I walk in a room and everybody is agreeing, but I'm the only one disagreeing, I need to stand 10 toes down on that. And now I done got to the point where I'm doing that. I don't have to feel a void, because another thing of the issue when it comes to feeling a void is, or at least for me, it was idolizing. And one of the biggest things I was idolizing was my emotions. And it came to the point where
Ooh.
idolizing my emotions, and here it is, I'm proclaiming to love my God, love my daddy, and why is I'm worrying? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, wait a minute, do you trust God or not? Whew, you got me fired up. But yeah,
Nah, I can we talk about that a little more?
we
Cause
can.
idolizing your emotions like that, you got me thinking on that one. You got
Yeah,
me thinking on that one because
seriously.
we do fall into that. We get into the and and a lot of times emotions are. Let me first say this before I say anything. Emotions are valid. They are valid.
Absolutely.
They are part of being human.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Without them, we can lose our moral compass, right?
Ooh, absolutely.
So idolizing those emotions is like dwelling within them and solely holding them up above God, like that attachment, that bond that you're seeking, you're holding that in regards higher to than your belief or faith in God. That's powerful,
It's really
true.
it gets really deep. Yeah. Because you steady holding on to that emotion. I was realizing I was holding on to anger. Even though I have a rite of passage, right? I have a rite of passage. But at the same time, it's still not good. I got to let the resentment go. I have to let the bitterness go. I have to let the anger go. And another thing is, too, we don't want to hold on to that because guess what? This allows for the enemy to get access to us through these emotions, because that's one thing I hate about sin. It's like once you mess up in this area, you don't realize all the demons that are attached to that. You know what I'm saying? Because with that resentment, there was anger tied to that. So okay, boom, I'm holding that resentment, but I realize I'm angry. So now I gotta deal with that anger. I don't want to be quick in my anger, so I got to deal with that. I want to hold my tongue, so I need to be quick to listen and slow to speak. You know what I'm saying? And one of the best things that happened, I mean, that helped me was my book that I have in regards to posture. And literally, that's what. Well, y'all probably can't see it, but it says, "Let's work on our posture, our mind, our heart, and our mouth." And so
Okay,
once
that's
I
fire.
you feel me? I gotta get my shirt line. It's coming together. I'm trying to find a vendor. Anybody know a vendor? Please help.
Man,
But I had to really work on that and submit my emotions to God. Now, for me, I don't know about anybody else, but it was something that literally God had to take control of. It was literally something I had to pray about. Like, Lord, please release this from me. I don't want the enemy to have access to me. And not even that. I don't like the feeling of somebody having power over me. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's like we need to get this together because I want to have power over me. I have the power.
No, that's yeah. Reclaim it. You
Yeah.
know, because oh man, look, the mind, the heart, and the mouth. That's all connected.
Yes.
Oh man,
All
so if you
connected.
you got me on that one.
I know,
Wow.
I know, I know. And I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said. It's connected, right? Because this is the thing about it. When we fix our posture, it would create an obedience. Because a lot of times where our mouth, our hand, and our mind follow, that's where our hands and feet follow. Because see, had I would have fixed, had you would have fixed your posture, as I say, you wouldn't went over brother man house. You wouldn't have went over sister girl house. You wouldn't have said what you said out your mouth. You wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying, thought them thoughts. You wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? And again, this is something that is easier said than done now. But, it is that renewing of the mind. Don't be conformed by the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It's a daily thing. Posture is a daily thing. I still work on it to this day. I check myself. And that's why I be telling people, Saniyah Baker-Boatwright, I am not perfect. I would tell you, I'm not perfect. The same way I be on the outside is the same way I act on the inside. And if anything, like I just told another person recently, you may even think that I'm delusional because the way I be talking to my daddy, Jesus, you'll be thinking something is seriously wrong with this girl. I mean, hey, he knows everything. Why not share with him everything? This is how I'm feeling. This is what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You seeing what's happening. You see the kind of day I had. You see how they just did me like that, daddy. Like, what do I need to do? I'm crying. I'm hurt. I'm sad. I want the connection. I don't want the connection. What do I do? So, yeah, he gets it all.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
If we, if there's people out there that can go on live and talk to a screen with people they can't see, there's nothing wrong with talking to God out loud.
Hello.
Just being completely honest with you.
Yeah.
So now this has been an enlightening conversation. I want to know, with your book that's coming out, what's the best way to support? What's the best way to get a copy? Like, how can we, to those who are listening, how can we support you? What's the easiest way to do so for you?
Yeah, so the book is coming out May the 22nd, this Friday. The best way to support me is once Friday hit, go to www.sbbtheboat.com. And now some people be like, okay, wait a minute, how do you spell boat? It's Baoat. And to really just spit it out, the best way to remember is best author of all time. Simple as that. sbbtheboat.com. It'll be up there Friday. Also, I do want to share with you, I already have opened a space for those that are struggling with absentee parents. I have a Facebook group called Thrive Beyond the Absence Group. If you have trouble finding it, let me know. It is a private group, but I believe it is visible, so you should be able to find it. Definitely come on and join this group. Listen, the vision that I have for this group is super big, and I pray to God that, with this group, I am able to, by the help of God now, just God using me as a vessel, but I'm able to help those that are struggling with this. Like, this is bigger than a community. This is bigger than me, to the point where I'm just like, okay, God, I see the vision, but this is huge, and I know I'm gonna need some help with this. So, definitely just please join the Facebook group, and like I said, definitely go online to www.sbbtheboat.com, because it's some big things happening with this, and I'm so ready to hear the testimonies, the impact, and just everything surrounding with this, because it's something that needs to be shed light on. And I really, really pray and hope that when people read this book, that they really get the message out of this, that I can thrive. I cannot just live, but I can have a successful, abundant life with or without a parent. And so I'm just super excited. This conversation has been amazing to me.
Nah, please take this conversation as confirmation, man. This is something I'm always looking forward to. When we first did our first interview, and you told me your idea, and I was like, we're gonna have to do a follow up, like, cause I have to know what's going on, and for us to get back in contact, and how easily we made it happen. Absolutely. That was we just made it like, okay, this date, bet, let's do it.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
That I love this for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm
extremely proud of you. Like, you have no idea.
Wow. I'm really just soaking that in of what you just said, because validation for me used to be a big thing, but I'm so glad God delivered me from that. If you don't mind, I do want to share a snippet. So, validation, right? It's one of those things where it's just like, why are you worried about what other people think or say, or, again, that's where that people pleasing tied in, until I tell you this. One day I had prayed to God, and I was like, Lord, I want you to help me not worry about what anybody else got to say, whether it's good or bad. I just don't want no validation from anybody, right? Woo! But they say you got to be careful what you pray for.
Yeah, because you'll get it.
And honestly, it was like either weeks or months went by. I wasn't hearing no congratulations. I cracked myself up. I want to free somebody. I wasn't hearing the congratulations. I wasn't hearing, I'm so proud of you. Keep going. And then so one day where I was like, Lord, it's a little silent. I'm trying to figure out, is I'm on the right path or am I not? I'm not hearing it. So what's going on? Tell me. He had to remind me. He said, Naya, you remember the prayer you prayed, right? I said, what prayer? He like, the one about validation. I was like, oh, you right. And from that moment on, and definitely not dismissing your your thank you to me, because congratulations, I definitely appreciate it. But I was just like, dang, I can really do this. Because it's like, even with the Bible, they was, hollering, Hosanna, Hosanna. Then, next thing you know, it's crucify him, crucify him. If you would live by the cheers, you would die by the booze. And I don't want to be that person. You know what I'm saying? And after all the trauma that I've been through in life, too, that's another thing that helped me with validation. Like, girl, you've been called so many things, and people that treated you all kind of ways. You worried about validation? We ain't worried about that. But that was just a funny story between me and God, and I was just like, man, you are absolutely right. But no, I really do receive that. I appreciate that so much. I thank you for even allowing me to use your platform. I'm so glad that, you allowed me to do this, and I just know that I made the right decision. This was the perfect podcast to do it on. Like, yeah, the conversation is just never ended. Like, the flow, everything you said, it was just trickling in my head. I'm like, he been in my head.
Nah, man, this is what I love to do.
Yeah.
And I always think God is in the midst of great conversation. That's
Mm.
just something I live by. That's why my major is what it is. Communication.
Great job.
It's what I hey, it's what I
I'm
study
so
for.
serious. Great
Yeah.
job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I receive that.
Thank you.
And Sanaya, um, as this is before Friday, I just want to again say thank you for taking time out your day because you got stuff to do. You got stuff to get ready for to make this work for me as well. And I look forward to seeing my copy. You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
so
Autograph copy at that. It's
oh,
coming.
okay,
It's
I'll
coming.
take that. I'll
Yeah,
take that.
absolutely.
Shoot, what's the night? Is there anything else you wanted to announce or anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Um, I really just want to give a shout out to God.
Okay.
God has throughout this whole entire journey, it's really been solely, I can honestly say it's been me and him. There is a special person that I'm thinking about. I don't want to give no names away, only just due to the fact that, one thing I have learned is that some people you just have to literally keep close to heart and guard it. Because this is a person who means a lot to me, and they is really a sniper in the spiritual realm. And for me to go through this process and having that person that I can lean on, you know who you are, baby. You know who you are. So I appreciate you so much for just being a part of my life and always checking on me, being here for me when I need you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you for that. But yes, and just like I said, just going back to God because without Him, listen, I would tell anybody I would be out of my mind. I mean, I just look back over my life, and I'm just like, what a journey this has been. Even with, I believe we're still what in Mental Health Awareness Month, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So just coming from a little girl growing up through so much trauma, so much family issues, to a woman who is an author, and have a podcast and doing all of these things, it's just like it's so fulfilling to me because it's like, wow, it was a point in time where I was like, wait a minute, I'm walking in purpose. It's like, girl, you've been walking in purpose. You just haven't dealt with the confidence part. And so
Right.
now I'm just boldly walking into my purpose and just really enjoying what I do. And God has really helped me through this area because I can't lie, one thing, like I said earlier, it's definitely something that's easier said than done. Because it was times I cried myself to sleep. It was times where I begged God to, hey, I need to feel your presence. I need to feel your presence right now. I don't have nobody to hug right now. Lord, I need you to just literally wrap your arms around me. And so I really, like I said, my biggest shout out is God because without Him, this none of this would be possible. I mean, thank God to my parents. I want to do thank you to my parents because again, they are the vessel that brought me here. And I do want to make this disclaimer: the group, the book, everything that I have going on is not an attack on parents. It's not to bash parents. This is a book to shed light on those that are struggling in this area with absentee parents. Now, what I can't promise you is if you are a parent that's not involved in your child life and you just so happen to come up on my content and it convicts you, that is between you and the Lord. I have no parts of that. Well, I have a part in that, but this is literally God working through me. So I have to be obedient, and I mean, I have to be the voice to the voiceless. Somebody got to do it. So I'm picking up that cross to be able to, to do that for others. I do want to say I do have coaching availability. So if you're seeing this video and you need some coaching on this, I have individual coaching that I'm doing. I have group coaching that I'm doing as well. Now, for as the group coaching, I'm only accepting 10. I only want to, because I want it to be small. That way everybody can get poured into and everything. Because even within the group coaching, there will still be some individual coaching as well. So I mean, I'll be doing a lot of pouring, you know what I'm saying? But again, without God, I wouldn't have been able to pour out the way I'm getting ready to pour. So
Right.
look forward to the coaching. The coaching is actually is not out yet, but for those that do watch this podcast, you are having first dibs, the first availability. You'll be able to jump on a discovery call with me. I'll see what you want to do, whether that's group or individual. If you do come to me about the group coaching and maybe I feel like, no, I need to work on with you one on one, we'll talk about that. So I'm super excited for the group coaching. So again, we have the Facebook group, We have the group coaching, and we have the book. And how the group coaching came about, just to give some emphasis on that. I didn't just want to do this book alone. And a lot of times people have books, or just some form of a spreadsheet or something like that, or a study guide, and it's like, no, somebody needs to be holding their hand with them. And so that's what I'm gonna be doing, with them. I'm gonna be holding your hand. I'm gonna be we're gonna talk about what's going on, see where you fall at on the line, and then I'll be able to assess you with that. So that's pretty much how the individual coaching will work. It's going to be personalized, of course, to whatever your needs are. I'm gonna cater to you. So we have that going on, and I just want to say to anybody that is struggling, dealing with, living, life with an absentee parent, because a lot of times we focus on who's not there, or the parent not being there. I want you to focus on you. How can you make your life better? How can you prioritize yourself? What does an abundant life look like for you? I'm in your corner. I know you can do this, because if I can get through it, then you can too. So I'm just super excited about what's to come, and I'm in your corner. I love you, and that's another thing that those that are struggling with absentee parents, they don't get to hear I love you, or congratulations, or they need help with parenting. And that's why it's so important. Please, 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 if anybody know me, I never really beg to get a book, but like, I am begging y'all, please, please get this book. If you know somebody that is struggling, that's dealing with life with an absentee parent, tag them in it, tell them about it, share it with them, get them to join the group, because again, the group is so much bigger than the vision that I'm seeing. So I just really want to help people, and help people get delivered. Like, let's get away from that. Some special person told me, we not just surviving, we living, and beyond that living, baby, we are thriving. So come on and join this Thrive Club, so we can get our lives together.
All right. Well, Sanaya, I love how much life you speak and so much conviction you speak into this group. I know it's going to be successful. If there's any way I can assist, please feel free to let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist. I love these type of things. I love getting people together and just working through it. Like I said, people have gotten so divided that we
Yes.
forgot how beneficial community is, and what you're doing is just that. So I would love to offer any assistance there where I can. I would love to support. So
Absolutely. I definitely appreciate you with you saying that, because I'm hearing, and if we gonna do some talking, offline. And oh, I'm sorry, I do want to say this. Listen, y'all go follow me on every platform: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, at author Saniyah. That's AuthorSaniyah. Follow me on all platforms. Just a little sneak peek or a tidbit. A lot of times TikTok get it first. I'm sorry. TikTok sometimes get it first. Sometimes Facebook get it first. But a lot of times it's TikTok. So please go follow me on all the platforms. Stay tapped in, please.
yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed. Well, Miss Sanaya, again, this has always been a pleasure,
always.
and I look forward to having this conversation again. You
Yes.
know, so again, to all the people that have listened, please make sure you follow and support my girl. She is wonderful, easy to get in contact with,
Yeah.
easy, easy, and she is on TikTok. I follow her.
Yeah.
'Cause, hey, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
So that being said, this has been your boy, sir. The say that website again, because when you said the best author of all time, I was like, that is the hardest thing I've heard. Give them that website
Oh,
one
the
more time.
website is www.sbbtheboat.com. That is SBBTHEBAOAT. And if you have a problem remembering it, again, remember, it's best author of all time. I'm gonna prove it.
That's so hard.
I'm gonna prove
That's
it.
so hard. That's brilliant.
By the grace of
Brilliant.
God, I'm gonna prove. I'm gonna prove it.
There you go. But this has been your boy, sir, Sanaya, the
Yes.
best author of all time. And we are out. Y'all have a great day.